matter which one, man.
Okay, so we're gonna get started. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name's Lillian Sonnenberg, and I'm the Assistant Director for Outpatient Nutrition at the hospital. So I'm a nutritionist, and I also co-direct the MGHB Fit program, which is the Employee Wellness Program. Has anyone done B Fit? Oh, good. So I was telling the group before, originally when Dolce invited me to talk to you, the focus, it was in November and we were gonna talk about holiday eating, but I'm just transitioning this to instead of all holidays, talk about family gatherings or friend gatherings all throughout the year, not just at the holidays. We have events that we go to where there's a lot of food and alcohol. So we're gonna talk about some strategies to help you navigate during those events. And I'm sure the next event everyone may be doing is a Super Bowl party. And we always think of those as very healthy foods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, I'd like to start off with, around food, we all have sort of traditions in our family, and this is my family, my 4 sisters and myself, and during Thanksgiving, we always have a pie bake-off, even though what's Thanksgiving without, pies? So we always have a tradition of having a lot of pies. You can see there's probably like about 10 different varieties there. There's a lot more than anyone would ever need. But food is a lot of traditions in everyone's family. So we all have foods that we associate with certain holidays. Of course, the turkey, based in turkey. And then this is just a picture from Christmas Eve. We always have crown roasted pork. Again, once a year we have it, so it's a food that we always look forward to having at that time. And of course, no holiday or gathering exists without a lot of appetizers and hors d'oeuvres, and of course, probably some special desserts. So you can see there's a lot of food, a lot of calories around this time, but that's, part of getting together with people. So what we're going to talk about is some strategies to help you choose well and eat well. One of the things, especially during the holidays, this is relevant, you're going to a lot of events. So you always want to sort of plan ahead in terms of what you're going to be doing. And the one thing to think about is not to go hungry. Have you ever starved yourself all day before an event? Because we're getting together with the family, it's a big, our friends, there's gonna be a lot of food. So sometimes people try to not eat all day. Anyone ever do that? And what happens? So people try to sort of save calories, but it actually ends up working against you because you get so hungry, it's really hard to control what you eat. So a better strategy is really to try to always eat every 3 to 4 hours. And it's always good to include some snacks. And when you're thinking about snacks, like here I have some almonds with an apple. Almonds are protein. It's good to think about snacks that are proteins and carbohydrates, and apples are carbohydrates. So some other proteins are like cheese, peanut butter, so not to just, because carbohydrates get digested very quickly. So have something that's gonna stay with you. When we think about calories, on average, women need about 16 to 1800 calories, men need about 22 to 2400. So in order to maintain your weight, if women have about 500 or 600 calories per meal, men have 600 to 700 calories, that leaves you per meal, that leaves you some calories for snacks. So if you eat more than you need, you're gonna put on weight. If you eat less, you're gonna take off weight. So when we look at foods, and I have a handout for you on beverages, one's alcoholic, one's non-alcoholic, you can get a lot of calories with beverages. What beverages do people generally drink? Water. That's no calories. What else would you have?
Juice,
Sodas.
coffee,
Juice.
coffee.
So sometimes when people are thinking about calories, they don't think about the calories they drink, but you can be getting a lot of calories. So one way to cut the calories with beverages is to reduce the portions, substitute or alternate. So with alcoholic beverages, a 6-ounce glass of wine, which is a smallish glass of wine, has about 150 calories. A 9-ounce glass has about 225. If you want to cut down the calories, making it wine and soda water, a spritzer, a wine and salsa water, that cuts your calories in half, because salsa water has no calories. So one way is to have like a wine spritzer. So instead of just drinking a straight glass of wine, you can cut the calories in half by mixing half wine, half soda water, salsa water. Beer. Regular beer has about 150 calories. There are light beers. Light beers have about 2/3 of the calories. So even if you're drinking a light beer, you're still getting 100 calories, but it's going to be less calories. And I like to tell people, in order to lose a pound, you have to eat 500 less calories a day. If you gain a pound, you are eating 500 more calories a day. So if you're drinking a 6-pack of beer, that's 900 calories right there. So do you know what I mean? You can drink a lot of calories without even thinking about it. And of course, cocktails will run you about 200 to 400 calories. So again, you want to be mindful when you're having any kind of a cut. What do people like to drink for cocktails?
Margaritas.
Margaritas.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't
But
have
not in
them.
the list. They must be really
Yeah. So the other thing to think about with beverages is if you're not going to eliminate them, you can always alternate. And in the last class, one guy said he'll have a cocktail, but then he'll have a non-caloric beverage like water or sparkling salsa. And that's a way to help pace yourself by alternating. And again, it's just a habit, trying something different. Has anyone tried doing that? Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
yeah, I do.
How's that work for you?
It's pretty good. It's when I don't do it, it's kind of heavy. I feel kind of heavy.
Yes,
I feel heavier than when I do it.
right. So again, it's just, it takes time to embrace new habits, but just trying it is a way to, help you in terms of pacing yourself. And I think you'll feel a difference. Okay, so when we talk about food, a lot of times when we have gatherings, we have a buffet. And a buffet usually means a table full of food. So before you even pick up your plate, one strategy is to think about just taking one plate. When you're at a buffet, a lot of times you're not worried about how much you take because you think, I can get up, I can get more food. But one thing to think about is, I'm just gonna try to have maybe one plate at the buffet versus just going back multiple times. So you wanna be more mindful and take a look at everything at the table. And maybe there's things you don't really even care about. So instead of just putting a little, as Dolce does, everything, you might say, I'm gonna pick the things I don't usually get a chance to have. When you're designing your plate, are you familiar with the balance plate? Have you seen that? So when we talk about the balance plate, we talk about half your plate should be like salad and vegetables, and then a fourth protein, a fourth starch. So the protein would be things like turkey, meat, ham, lamb, any kind of fish. Your vegetables or salad should cover half your plate because they have a lot of water, they're very low in calories, but they're high in fiber, and they're very filling. So having your green beans or your onions or your squash, and then your starches, this would be your potatoes or your rice or your pasta. So again, when you go to the table, try to think of this as this group, everyone looks very healthy. I think you're already doing a lot of this stuff. So again, being more mindful, not putting the whole plate with macaroni and cheese or the whole plate with all your starches, but really the things that are going to be filling are your protein and your vegetables. Protein is filling and vegetables have a lot of fiber. So feeling full will help you also to eat less. be mindful. Am I hungry? Have you ever found, like, I think about on Thanksgiving getting into what I call a turkey coma. There's so much food. Like, and you can't help but overeat. But was I really hungry? So when you sit down to eat, you want to think about, you know, how hungry am I? And really trying to be more mindful. Okay, so we talked about beverages, we've talked about food, we've talked about the main dish. Now we're going on to desserts, because usually at most celebrations, we have a lot of cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, we have a lot of food, and desserts. So desserts can really add up quickly in terms of calories. And I have an example here, the pecan pie. That's a pie that has a crust on the bottom, a crust on the top. Those pies almost have twice as many calories as something like a pumpkin pie, which only has one crust. So being mindful, you could pick up, remember I said, 500 extra calories a day translates to a pound a week. So just one slice of pie can put you over. So you want to be mindful. And then Dolce likes this. Stressed is desserts, spelled backwards.
I like that.
So again, as we talked about with the beverages, you can, in our world, there's no bad foods. You can have everything, it's just you have to budget. So I'm not gonna say you can never have something, but you wanna think about balancing. So it might mean you're not gonna have a cocktail because you wanna have a dessert. You might stay away from the bread basket. So it's about sort of balancing what you have. Or another thing to think about is reducing, omitting, or saving. So, oops, I wanted to go back. I don't want to end it.
Click on side.
Oh, previous, yeah, that's what I wanted. So, again, you can think about reducing your portion, maybe omitting or saving it for later. And water. How many people regularly are drinking 8 glasses of water a day? Oh, we have some real water people. The thing about drinking water is not only does it hydrate you, but it makes you feel full. So, like when you're going out to a restaurant, drinking a glass of water helps to make you feel full. Drinking water during the day helps to make you feel full. So, and sometimes people are eating when they're really just thirsty. So for those who don't do it, one strategy might be to start thinking about, the only time I drink water is when I work out. I don't know what it is. I can't get into it myself, but I realize I feel a lot better and you look a lot better when you're hydrated. And in the cafeteria here, we have the Choose Well, Eat Well with the flags. Do people eat in the caf at all? A little bit?
Yeah.
So when you're at work, we make it really easy for you to eat healthy because the green flagged foods are your healthiest foods. They're lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. The yellow foods are less healthy, and things in the red category just means there's a better choice in green and yellow. So when you're in the cafeteria, just by looking for the green flagged items, those are going to be your healthiest choices. And besides watching what you eat, exercise helps you to offset calories. And we were talking earlier with the group about steps. How many people track their steps here? What do you do a day? What do you,
Over 20,000.
just in your job? So that's
I walk a lot.
8 miles. Because 10,000 steps is 4 miles, and 4 miles burns 400 calories. So one thing to do, if you don't have a tracker, a pedometer, or a lot of the iPhones now have them, for me, when I'm at my desk all day, I do 3,000 calories. On the weekends, I do over 10,000. So that was a real motivator for me. I started trying to do the steps more at work to try to get up my steps. But by increasing your activity, you're also offsetting your calories. And then besides food and exercise, just getting a good amount of sleep helps you in terms of how much you eat. They find people that are sometimes people eat when they're tired. Eating doesn't make you less tired. Getting a good night's sleep makes you less tired. So for those, I see someone falling asleep here. So, working on your sleep is an important part of helping you in terms of your eating and exercise too. Because when you're too tired, you don't exercise. And then relaxing and being more mindful and less stress can help you control your eating too. And I was mentioning that up in the Benson Henry group does relaxation once a week. It's on the broadcast email, and those are in the Haber conference room, which is behind the O'Keefe conference room. And they last for 25 minutes, but there's over 1,000 free apps. But doing relaxation helps us to de-stress, which also has an impact on how we eat. Sometimes we do stress eating, and being more relaxed makes us more mindful. So, just think about if you do small changes make a big difference. You don't have to do everything. If you walk out of here and say, I'm gonna do one thing, and after a month you have that as part of your routine, then you can add something else. So small changes are gonna make a big difference. All right, thank you. Thanks.
Gabby.